Welcome everyone to the Tuesday, October 25th meeting of the Cupertino Planning Commission. May we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Kapil?
Present.
Commissioner Saxena?
Yes.
Commissioner Wong? Vice Chair Maripatla?
Yes.
And Chair Shar.
Here. Okay, very good. Our first item of business is the approval of minutes from the October 11th meeting. So if you can open up that document and look at it for a minute and see if anyone would make a motion. Anybody care to make a motion? I don't see any errors, but often some people do.
I'll make a motion to approve October 11th Planning Commission minutes.
Okay, and I will second that motion. Now I will see if anybody from the public, since this is an agenda item, they are entitled to speak on this. Please raise your hand. I don't see anyone raising their hand to speak on this, so why don't we have a roll call vote to approve the minutes?
Commissioner Kapil?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Commissioner Saxena?
Yes.
Commissioner Wong? Vice Chair Maripatla?
Yes.
Chair Shar?
Aye.
Motion carries 4001.
Okay, we have no postponements, so our next item is oral communications, and this portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wishing to address the Commission on any matter that A, is within the jurisdiction of the Commission, and B, is not on the agenda. Each person will get 3 minutes, and in most cases, state law will prohibit the Commission from making any decisions with respect to a matter not on the agenda. So I'm going to go back to participants, and 1 second here. Okay. We do have one person with their hands raised. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you, Chair Shar. Hi, I'm Jennifer Griffin, and it's good to see you all tonight. I just wanted to bring up, I had 2 items. One of them is with the number of new housing bills that have been passed recently, the public has had trouble keeping up with them. There have been many of them. A whole another group were passed 2 weeks ago when the governor signed them. But it's very important that the public do their due diligence and read the text of these bills that have been passed. You can't just glance at them. They are I'm not going to call them works of art, but they have been constructed to have many parts. And I'm talking especially about AB 2097 and AB 2011. When you look at the bottom of the text of AB 2097, which is Laura Friedman's parking, let's reduce parking in new construction, you notice down near the bottom that there is a reference to AB 2011, and then which is the building housing, is Buffy Wick's building housing in formerly commercial areas. And then there is another bill, AB 2653, which is a housing element bill. And yet the text of AB 2097 is referring to the passage of AB 2011 and AB 2653, and saying if these 2 bills pass and then AB 2097 passes, then such and such will happen to a portion of the state legislators, a state law. And I looked at AB 2011, and it has the same thing. At the bottom, it references AB 2097 passage and also the Housing Element Bill, AB 2653. And I thought, hey, what is this? These are not standalone bills. These bills were made to be run dependent upon each other. They are premeditated, they are preconceived. And I, as a member of the public, feel that I have been left out as to what they are trying to accomplish. And I think that it's important that the public try to make sure that they are reading these so that they have a full comprehension that this is a package that was passed as a package, and they are supposed to operate that way for good or ill. Also, AB 500 was supposed to be passed last year, ADU streamlined in coastal areas. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Let me go back and see if anyone else has raised their hand. In the meantime, no one has, so I will close oral communications, and we will go back to the agenda. There's no old business and no public hearings. We're on to new business. Work session on the general plan annual review of the land use sections through policy LU 27.4. And we will just provide input on the land use section of the annual general plan review. So can we have our staff report?
Sure. Sir, if you, Planning Commission, good evening. If you recall, this is a section this is a report that state law requires the city to submit to OPR and HCD pursuant to government code. And so we have to do this every year. There are two pieces to it. One is a general plan annual report, which is basically on progress on policies and strategies within the general plan. And there's a second piece to it, which is a report on the housing element progress. And that is a little more involved, and that happens on forms that HCD produces, and there's a reporting of numbers and progress on policies and strategies in the housing element itself. There was a report provided to you, a draft one, and I have to apologize. I'm having real technical difficulties accessing my Excel spreadsheet. I think it may have gotten corrupted somehow. I've been trying to open it for the last 15 minutes or so, and I just realized that it's just crashing every time I open it. But what I could do is I could go over the report that was presented to the council last time and kind of go over the areas where we are going to be updating it, and then present the rest of the report at the next when we bring this back. So I have to apologize for that. This is really unprecedented. I've just been trying to open this report, and it's just crashing every single time.
So what is on your spreadsheet?
It is a listing of, if you recall, we do this every year where we have a listing of all the general plan policies and strategies, and a column where we report out on what's happening, whether this is something that needs a report out or needs progress as a program, or, a certain.
So I'm looking at this 23-page.
Correct, and that's a truncated version. So
it's not what
truncated version, and B, it's crashing on me every single time that I try to open the actual Excel spreadsheet. So
so this is a PDF. It's not correct. The actual spreadsheet. I see.
And so I have to apologize. I don't know what's going on with this spreadsheet, but what I can do is bring up the spreadsheet that we had from last year, and I can kind of point to the areas where we were anticipating making changes in the land use section. So
I have a question on this. So in the email, are you specifically referring to LU 27.4, or you are referring all the way from beginning till LU 27.4?
Correct, from the beginning to through all the way from the beginning to LU 27.4. And again, I have to apologize. Somehow this has gotten filtered, and it's just. There's something corrupted in this spreadsheet at this point in time.
Okay, and your spreadsheet is not what we're looking at in the draft.
Yes.
Okay.
So I can bring up the one that we did for 2021. That one is working for me, and then we can go through and I can highlight where we're focusing on changes on this, and what we're anticipating changing for each of those items.
Before we do that,
Sure.
Michael, I mean, would it make sense to just postpone this since we don't have the? I mean, is there a reason that this needs to happen like right now, or should we postpone it until Pew has the necessary spreadsheet for us to look at? Because I don't think looking at last year's spreadsheet is going to be productive. If you're going to bring it back anyway, for us to look at the
fair point.
the current one.
We have to make this report. Go ahead, Michael, please.
I was going to say that's certainly within your discretion, Chair.
Okay, and what were you going to say, Pew, about when we have to make the report?
So the law says that this needs to be presented at a public hearing to the legislative body of the city, which is the city council, prior to April 1st of every calendar year. So we have to make our presentation to the council. Generally, we do that in the middle of March. So we go ahead and do that around March 15th. So as long as we can wrap up our report before that, sometime in February, early February would be ideal, then we can take it to council in March.
Okay, I mean, maybe I can poll the other commissioners and see if they would rather just postpone that or this instead of looking at last year's, or proceed to look at last year's. I mean, how does everyone feel about this? Mooney, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, so no, I would prefer to postpone it, so that we are looking at the actual data and stuff, outdated data. But also, I wanted to know what the ramifications of postponing. Like, are we going to miss anything? Like, especially, the housing element submission. Is this any way tied to that at all?
No, this exercise is not tied to our housing element update.
Okay.
This is on a separate. This is completely different from that. This is just it's really a report. It's a lot of data and just progress on certain policies and things that the commission and the council can look at and decide whether they want to make changes, change direction, make any changes to consider future changes to policies and strategies at any point if they so wish.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, Vikram and Sanjeev, are you okay with postponing this?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if we're spending time on it, let's spend time on the latest one.
Okay.
Yes, it is okay as long as the new one which is posted has the highlighted portions where we need to focus. There's a lot of content here in terms of going up to 27.4.
Yeah.
So it will be good that where we need to focus is clearly marked in that document.
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry, Chair, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was just saying, as long as it's not going to cause us to miss any deadlines, then, I would just prefer to postpone it. What were you going to say?
I was just saying, yes, in the report itself, actually the report that I had, there are updates have been made and they're in bold and underlined. So it kind of tells you what the changes are between last time and this time. Unfortunately, like I said, my Excel is just completely crashing right now. I'm not exactly sure why. But I'll be sure to have this buttoned up for you when we bring this back.
Okay. All right. Very good. So we'll postpone item 2. Do we need to vote on that, Michael, to postpone, or just is that my discretion?
I think it's at your discretion since these technical difficulties and
Okay. Very good. So we'll move on to staff and commission reports. Does anyone have anything to report? Mooney, your hand's still up.
I forgot to raise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else attend any meetings or events? I went to the Bate Brothers groundbreaking this afternoon over on Foothill and Stevens Creek, and the owner was there. He's anxious to start building, so that's good. Whenever we can get one of our projects actually get the owner to start construction, that's great, and he seems very anxious. The old building's been demolished and he's ready to build.
That's good.
Yeah. Any
Shovel
others?
to the ground.
What?
Shovel to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like the smaller projects have a much easier time of getting started. They have a real they don't want to leave the land empty. They want to build and make money on it. So that's good. Uh, Anything else for staff reports do you have anything else, Pew or Michael or?
I don't have anything. I was going to report out on the groundbreaking, but thank you very much for that.
Okay.
I just have to point out I missed the mayor's meeting because I received the video link after the meeting started. So just to point out that it's good if you want us to attend the mayor's meeting. Probably it's a good idea to send the video link one day back or something. In this case, my link arrived after 15 minutes of the meeting starting. So by the time I could have gone to the city's website and pulled out the link from there and joined it. Probably that's what I think the alternative was. But it missed my mind also because I didn't receive the notification. I just want to point out that.
Okay, thank you. Booney, you have your hand raised again, or is it still
okay?
Yeah.
So no, I have a question. So this is I understand that Gates of Heaven application got withdrawn or something like that, right? So that's why we didn't see it on the agenda today. But I want to understand what's being done about that violation, right? They should not have built those two.
Right. I agree, but that's not on the agenda for us to discuss. And I had a discussion with Michael last week, and we really need to be careful about only discussing things that are explicitly on the agenda. Old business is actual old business. It's not things that we wish to put on the agenda in the future. That's not old business. So, if we want to put that on the future agenda to talk about, and I think, I would not oppose that.
I want to, right? Because there are two parts to it at that time. One is, denying their permit, what they were seeking, that we did not vote on. But also, there was discussion about, what needs to be done.
Right. Okay. So we can put that on a future agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
For future items?
Right. For future items.
Okay. We've talked about this before, but I would like to get a staff report on the requests we had on the school generation ratio for different kind of properties, even if it says that we don't have any information. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea when someone requests something. If it's not possible, at least we should put it on the agenda and say it's not possible.
Yeah.
Just to make it clear that we would like that discussed at some time. And the planning commission, we don't put things on the work plan. The city council puts it on the work plan. But it would be good, I think, for us agendize it and say, please put it on the work plan, but not to discuss it any further than that.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think you had mentioned that Gyan had sent an email, but nothing came back or something like that. So whatever it is, let's just have it on the record so that people who want to hold us accountable know that at least we tried to get that information.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, if there's nothing else, wait, let me see if anybody wanted to comment on our reports. Yes, Lisa Warren, go ahead.
Okay, broken record here. If you're talking about future agendas, I'd still like to see, years later, privacy screening, balconies, and actually covered porches too. But it just never seems to happen.
Right. And again, that would have to be on the work plan for the staff to spend time on it. But we could.
I'm told it is on the work. It's been on the work plan, but it just never happens.
Okay. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. And then Jennifer, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Sharp. I didn't realize we could comment on this. I just wanted to I've got two things. One thing is I didn't hear I missed the part about the something school that Mr. Saxena had wanted to put on future. I missed what that other word was. If you could repeat it, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, I think we wanted to figure out what the school impact was of various types of developments.
Oh, okay. And the other thing, I'm just, in terms of that also, if you guys could have some sort, I'm not sure how they do this or who does it, but I think it'd be good for the Planning Commission, and this would fall under this, community infrastructure. This would be what I call it future planning. It's like, what is the city going to have to anticipate from the rollout of the housing bills in terms of who is paying for pavement of streets, who is paying for purchasing more trees, buying more parkland. Are the residents going to have to pay for this, or are we going to have to charge the developers money? Because the housing bills are not, they're just saying build, but the public is pay. So I don't know where you can put that, but it's an evolving issue, and we probably really need, and who's going to pay for the sewer lines, water lines?
Yeah,
and
I mean, that is something we could, talk about, how we pay for the impacts of all of this development.
And new roads. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Seeing no more hands raised on future agenda items, I guess I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. So I'll adjourn. Sanjeev, did you
So
want to say something?
Actually, I just wanted that Pew to put in a video link or something in that spreadsheet last comment column if there was any prior discussion or any kind of a historical debate has happened on that particular topic. Is that feasible? So that we will be able to know what all has gone through, because there are 2 lines of sentences which doesn't convey a lot of information unless somebody has been involved in that discussion by himself.
I am not. Are you talking about the agenda item that we postponed?
Yes.
So, and you want a video link about what?
Any video, text, or whatever. Any prior discussion on that particular related topic, like LU 24.7 or 24.9 or whatever. If there is anything happened in prior,
by the city council or what? Or by who?
City council has discussed that in the past, or I don't know, because I've seen this. There is some prior discussion related to these topics, and they are captured in some YouTube videos or somewhere.
Pew, is there such a thing?
No, not that I'm aware of. That would be historically almost, I mean, there's lots of discussions in many venues about different subjects.
Right, but the city council hasn't done this yet for this year, right? So you might have to go back and look for the same discussion a year ago.
Right, and I see that Assistant City Attorney has unmuted himself. I don't know if he...
Okay, Michael, did you have something to say?
I think to the extent that request is for information in terms of historical discussions, I think it was possible staff would supplement the report to direct the commissioners to see what has happened over the years.
Okay, very good. Okay, if there's nothing else, I will adjourn the meeting again, and we'll see you all, I guess it's sometime in November.
November 10th.
Thank you.
November 10th. Good night.
Good night.